What's up guys? Time here from Car Omelette, and in this video I'm going to take you on a tour on a 2022 Yaris ATIV. So this right here is the Thai spec. We call it the Yaris ATIV. And in some countries we have the Yaris and also we call it the Vios. Let's go check out the engine. So this engine is a 1.2 liter 16 valve dual overhead cam from Toyota. This is pretty much the same motor from the previous model. It has been tuned just a little bit. 94 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 110 Newton meters of torque at 4,400 RPM. It matches with the Super CVT transmission. This engine is a naturally aspirated, but for this car this size, it is not bad at all. We're gonna check it out in the driving test. So this color right here we got is the Platinum Luxury White color. As you guys can see here, the grille of this is huge and it's pretty nice. We can see sort of like the GR Yaris vibe is pretty much kind of similar. And at the side here, we have real side vents. This side vent also gives air curtain to the wheels, which is super neat. As for the lights, all the lights in this car is LED. We have LED bulbs, LED turn signals. Let's move on to the side. So the wheels we got here is 16-inch, two-tone. It's pretty nice. For the Thai model, we got the Yokohama Blue Earth 195/60/16. Let's move on to the back. As mentioned earlier, all the lights are LED, and the turn signal on this is pretty sweet. It's a sequential turn signal. As you guys can see here, there are 4 parking sensors. We also have 360-degree camera, which is super nice for a car in this segment. And right here, we have sort of like shape that comes from the front to mimic the front air vent, which is real, but this is not real, but no problem. And down underneath here, we have a diffuser-like shape. I think the overall looks on this car is pretty sweet. It doesn't look cheap anymore. Let's go check out the interior. Moving on to the inside. The first thing we got is a pretty nice seat. The seat we got here is a diamond cut style seat. Driver seat is a 6 adjustment, up, down, left, right, front, back. And for the passenger is a 4 adjustment seat. And the seat is pretty comfortable. And as you guys can see here, the color is a red color. We only get this option for the premium luxury model. This is the top of the line model in Thailand. The red pretty much emphasizes all around the car. I love it. And on the red, the leather feels pretty soft. It gives pretty much almost like the Camry vibe from this car, which is a premium feeling. You don't get anything near this in a car in this segment. The steering wheel is also pretty awesome. This is a telescopic adjustment steering wheel, which means you can push forward, back, up, and down. Steering wheel is a multimedia steering wheel, which you could control settings of the car. And right up here, we have the 7-inch gauge cluster. The right is all-time speedometer. And on the left, we could change a lot of things like the safety features, economy, and engine RPM. Moving on to the side here, we have an awesome 9-inch infotainment, which has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. We tried out this and the Apple CarPlay responds pretty well. And also the sound system in this thing, the premium luxury version top of the line, we got Pioneer speakers, which we tried out. At first, the adjustment wasn't so good and we dialed it in and it's perfect. There are no subwoofers, but it just feels like it. And the overall build quality of the Yaris ATIV is not bad at all. I can't hear any squeaks from here. There are a bit of like flex in the plastic, but looks decent enough for a Toyota that's gonna last pretty much over 10, 15, who knows, 20 years.
2,000 years later.
One of the best features in this car is in the AC. Check this out. This right here, we have a sensor for the PM 2.5 microparticles in the air. In Thailand, we have the pollution of PM 2.5 where some days it's so high that it's pretty much just hazardous to breathe air, and this car has a feature that measures it. We also have the PM 2.5 filter, which you could turn on with this button. So good. Let's do the visor shake. Wow. Wow. Look at that. The mirror is huge, bigger than the mirror in my house. Man. Yeah, so pretty much you can do makeup for passenger seat in the back and also a passenger seat to the side because, you know, it doesn't have any mirrors, unfortunately. Down here, we also have the color button, which controls the ambient light on the upper dash. So cool. We got 64 colors on the adjustment panel. Damn. And this right here, we have the electronic parking brake. We also have brake hold. I never know that a car this segment could give this much options. Moving up, we have the amazing cup holder. Like, look at it. It looks very premium. We also have the cup holder on the passenger side. Look at it. Look at the plastic on this. Like the build quality, man. You could pretty much stand on this and it won't break. Toyota. All right, let's move on to the back. So first of all, I'm 185 centimeters tall, and this is a seat I use to drive. And the leg room on this car is, oh, not bad at all. It's pretty wide. And the headroom, however, is a bit compromised because, you know, I'm too tall for this car. There's not a single car I've reviewed that has a cup holder in the back like this. Like, it's so high up. And the next greatest thing of this car is the rear AC. You can control the fan from the front, but it has a rear AC in this car. What a great feature, man. And down here we also have two USB ports, 2.1 amps. We doesn't have an armrest, however. And the overall comfort of the seat is, wow, very nice. The seat, however, is a bit harder than the seat in front, but I would be comfortable in this seat for a long drive. Let's take it out for a spin. All right, guys, we're now driving the Yaris ATIV 2022, and let's try out the 0 to 100 test. Turn off the AC. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Power, power, power. 70, 80, 90, 100. As we have tested before this, the 0 to 100 we got for the GPS, the fastest time with brake boost is 13.29. But this time without brake boost, just in drive normally, we got 13.53. For a 1.2 liter naturally aspirated engine, this is pretty fast. Driving this compares to the old Yaris, I think the responsive for the throttle is so much faster than the previous gen. I think one of the reasons is because of the super CVT transmission. The newest transmission also has the Tiptronic feature. We can adjust triptonically into 7-speed, and I think they have designed it to be better suited for this engine. Throttle response in performance is pretty awesome. The overall feeling of the transmission, to be honest, I love it. I think we are in the age where the CV transmission has developed pretty much good enough to be able to drive around town and also in the highway comfortably. Some people may say like, CVT, nah, forget about it. I want a manual or even a normal automatic. But yeah, I think now the CVT has improved significantly. The engine, however, is pretty much the same block as the previous Yaris, but they have tuned it to have a little bit more power, and I could feel it. But however, we did a drag race with the old Yaris, but that's a hatchback, and this is the result. Oh man, poor Yaris ATIV. But however, that old Yaris we tested drag race with was a older generation, but it is pretty much a hatchback, which is, I think, has much less weight than this ATIV version because this is a sedan. For the spec sheet, the weight on this and that Yaris is the same, which is pretty much no way the same because this is a much longer car. The wheelbase is longer, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be heavier than that. Okay, so with drag race aside, how is it to drive in the highway? Let's check out the high speed on this car. response of the throttle is not bad at all. It goes up pretty well, up to like around 130, 140, and it starts to slow down a little bit. But what do you expect from a 1.2 liter? This is pretty fast as it is compared to other cars in the segment. This is acceptable. And also as for the driving modes, there is normal, which we don't have to press anything. You put it in drive, it's in normal. You press the drive button on the right side of the steering wheel. Once it goes into power, or long press to go into eco. The power mode brings up the throttle response earlier in the lower RPM. As for the eco mode on this, it's not bad at all. Like the throttle is not that much delayed. So if you're driving a lot in the city or out in the highway sometimes, eco mode really does help. Driving wise, it's pretty cool, but how does the suspension perform? This Yaris ATIV is based on a DNGA, the new Toyota platform they use in a lot of markets worldwide. And man, this is so much better improvement from the previous generation Yaris. The body roll on this thing is significantly reduced. Like there is some body roll still, but this is pretty much just perfect for what you need around town. It's not that bouncy, and the overall ride quality is very good. The suspension is not too hard. If you go over bumpy roads, suspension just handles it with ease and with comfort as well. The rear seat is also very good, as I have tried. I mean, the comfort is just perfect. But however, if you want a sportier suspension and more fun to drive, I think a stiffer suspension or just change out the shocks, it would help out a bunch. Let's check out the body roll. Wow, that's pretty impressive. But however, I can feel a bit of tire lean with this thing. This model has a Yokohama Blue Earth tire, which is not so bad, not so great. But yeah, if you're in overseas or other countries, you might have a different tire. So enough with the suspension. How is it to drive around town and overall visibility of this Yaris ATIV? So this is a sedan, and to be honest, the visibility on this sedan is even better than the hatchback version. Like the windows are huge, A-pillar is not too big, just perfect, you know. You can move your head around and you can see pretty much everything around the car. This visibility is awesome. So right now we're in a concrete pavement road where the road is pretty harsh, it's very bumpy. Wow, the comfort is pretty awesome. And I also think the comfort is good because, you know, the sound deadening on this thing is very good. Like you could hear the road noise just a bit, but it's a low tone road noise, not noisy. I'm very surprised to have this much comfort driving a Yaris because, you know, I didn't expect a car this price in this segment to be this good. The premium luxury model is, I think it really do live up to its name. Okay, so now we're in a much smaller road and let's see how it performs. 1.2 liter engine, naturally aspirated, paired with a CVT transmission, driving in the city. Right now we're at 60 kilometers an hour and the engine RPM is just a shy of below 1300 RPM, which is super low, nice and very economical. So the fuel consumption on this car is doing pretty awesome. In the city, the max you would get is about 18, 19. And this city, I'm talking about Bangkok City, where traffic is pretty much #1 in the world. And if you drive in the highway, you would get pretty much around 20 to about 21, 22 in the real world. But Toyota claims you're gonna get 23. This DNGA platform, it has soft suspension, which is great for comfort, and the body roll is very, very minimal. In some cars, if the high-speed performance of the suspension is okay, decent, comfort, like most of the time, if you drive over potholes and stuff, it will be a bit harsh and not very pleasing to drive in low speed circumstance. But however, in this thing, the low speed circumstance is, oh man, as good as highway, like no doubt about it. It's very nice. And also the level of comfort in this thing, low speed and high speed, over potholes, over concrete road that's not very good, you know, Thai roads, it performs really well. And what about the steering wheel, low speed? I think the weight of the steering wheel sets up just right, just perfect. Like the low speed corners, I mean, it's not too light. And in the high speed, testing is not too soft. So it's just right in the sweet spot. But however, for a car this size, it also happens with other manufacturers as well. If you drive around like 100 or low speed, if there is a bit of steering input and you let it go, it won't straighten out like this. As you guys can see here, we're merging to the left without even touching the steering wheel. And you know what? Let's go to the right. Like, look at that. So right now we're in the merging lane. It's a bit of a, this is an off-ramp curve. Let's go. Wow. Oh, man, this thing rocks. It just takes it with ease. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, the only thing limiting this car from, you know, being much more dynamically fun to drive is the tire. If you put a better tire, of course, it's gonna perform just awesome. Because, you know, taking that corner is a bit of a body roll and the suspension jerks around just a little bit. But, you know, for a car, this segment, all right, we're gonna park and look at that. Check that out. In 2 seconds, the rear camera is on, and we also have the guidelines. Oh man, just awesome. Not only that, we have the rear camera and the guidelines, which is pretty cool. We also have rear parking sensor, 4 spots, which is awesome. But however, you know, the quality is a bit compromised. But look at it, a car this segment with a 360-degree camera. Like, what else could you get for this car? So this model is the premium luxury version. It's got pretty much all of the safety features, from lane departure warning, front departure assist, which tells you if the car in front goes ahead, and it will let you know that you should go and stop being on your phone. It also has pre-collision traction control and all around the car sensor. We also have a 360-degree camera, which you can access from a button on the left right here. It's pretty much the only model you can get a 360 camera in this price range, which is fantastic. This car also has the blind spot warning and rear cross traffic alert. It also comes with pretty much all the Toyota Sense safety features, including the paddle misoperation control, where if in front of you there's a car or a wall or your house, and if you put it in drive and you step the gas, the throttle won't respond until I think about like 4 or 5 seconds later, which is a pretty awesome feature for a car like this. If a person who's gonna buy this car, I think someone is probably going to be new into driving, and these goodies and safety features are definitely going to help. So this right here is a position for the 2 cameras that works together in order to detect the lane and also for the adaptive cruise control. This car's adaptive cruise control is awesome. It works until a stop. So if you're in a stop and go traffic, you could just set the speed and just let it go. But however, over 60 kilometers, it's not that great. It's a system that needs improvement, but overall it's still a pro that it gives this feature for us in this price range. Alright guys, so after trying out the new Yaris ATIV 2022, I'm gonna say this, at 699,000 baht, this car is one of the greatest cars with all its features for this segment, and it's a Toyota. You know, it's gonna last forever. And the one thing that's great about this is that they have changed pretty much the whole concept of this car. They give a lot of features that other cars in the segment wouldn't give. And for Toyota to be doing this, I mean, it's awesome. So if you're trying to find a car in this segment, you couldn't beat the price of this Yaris ATIV 2022. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe. It really do helps out the algorithm. And see you guys in the next episode. Bye.